Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, it is the final episode, the Training the Carnivore series final episode. I'm going to be concluding this. I feel like that we have enough scientific data with two gym bros that kind of just mesh this together just to kind of see if a carnivore person on the carnivore diet is able to lift maximal amount of weight and go through rigorous training while on the carnivore diet. Unfortunately, my buddy Frank cannot be here today, so I'm going to have to end this series by myself, but we're going to go over kind of the findings. But the first thing that I want to show you is Frank was able to hit his goal. Frank really wanted to, at the beginning of our training, get on a strength training award board that's at our job called the 960 Challenge. So pretty much you combine your best squat, bench, and deadlift all at once. And when you add that together, if it's 960 pounds or more, then you get to have your name placed on the board for all to see. 2 years ago, when I met Frank and we were working together, he was really concerned about doing back squats. He said he was unable to perform back squats because his lower back always hurts. And I told him, you're probably just back squatting wrong. And I taught him how to correctly back squat. And once I did, he kind of got hooked. And then when he started my strength training program, just to kind of give it a try, he realized his potential and that he could actually see himself on that board. So let's go ahead and check out Frank's lifts that got him on the 960 challenge board. Here we go. Got this.
Go, Frank.
Big raise. Come on.
Go, baby, go. Push. Push. You got it. Get up there. Go. Attaboy.
I can tell how much you want. So when you combine all of those together, obviously it's 960 pounds. So he just made it. But let me tell you something. There's a lot of people that wish they were on that board and that they'll never achieve it their whole entire life. So this is a wonderful achievement for him. Congratulations. And he did it on a very controversial diet that a lot of people say is unable to sustain a weightlifter who's going through rigorous training. So I've been training Frank for about 2 years. And my biggest component when I'm teaching people is I like to teach them how to lift correctly. And I also don't want them to be hurting or suffering any injuries as they're going up and getting better in the weight. Because a lot of people would like to just jump ahead and lift really heavy, but then they get a really big injury and then it sets them back for years. And then they're never able to get back to where they were because they always have that fear in the back of their mind that they might be able to re-injure themselves. So I'm happy to report that when Frank was able to do the 960 challenge, he had 0 injuries. However, on that day, and I will give him a disclaimer, he wasn't feeling the best. We were supposed to test that day, and he kind of came to me and said he had a rough weekend, trouble sleeping, and that he kind of felt like a little lethargic in his movements. And so he didn't think that he was going to be able to perform very well. But he was able to get on the 960 board. And the moment he kind of accomplished his goal, he kind of like went back to his old ways of he wanted to go fight, he wanted to go do his jiu-jitsu, he wanted to do body weights and band movements in order for a summer beach workout kind of a deal. And I commend him for that because that's keeping him healthy as he goes along. And he does note that when he fights in jiu-jitsu, sometimes if he can't get out of a really weird sticky situation, he kind of just uses his strength and outpowers people even if they weigh more than he does. So he does see a benefit to my strength training program and why it's important to stay that way and to make sure that your strength is always in top shape. Now, when it comes to the carnivore diet itself and witnessing Frank go through my rigorous training program, we did see him start to plateau and not be able to push beyond the boundaries, which there's a couple of things that we could do there, obviously. But one of those things is eat more food and eat a lot of variety of food. He did up his calories in the meat, and I didn't see very much progression in that. And later he was complaining about a lot of inflammation in his joints. So I don't know if that's from his meat diet or anything like that, because he did say that he's kind of always faced that problem ever since he was a kid. But I think Frank did prove a point. He did get onto a very difficult board that awards and recognizes strength athletes by only consuming meat, right? So I think that's a pretty big achievement right there. I think if Frank wanted to go further and wanted to get stronger over time and would want to improve his lifts to get like to really big lifts where he could do like, 4 plates on each side for a squat, maybe a 455 deadlift, right? Or maybe even like a 315 bench press. I think that would require a whole lot more food and different styles of training. But I think that for a guy who only eats meat and is able to get on the 960 board, I think that that's a testament that it is sustainable to some degree and that it's a diet that he enjoys and it keeps him pretty fit. So really can't knock it, really can't say anything negative about it. I feel like a lot of people use the carnivore diet to kind of stay lean and to kind of curb their appetite, but that's for you to decide. So you can kind of make your determination upon our last Training the Carnivore series if this is something that you actually want to do or if it's something that you're interested in. But for me personally, I'm not really that interested in it. I believe that when you strength train as hard as I do, you definitely need to have a lot more calories other than just protein and meat. You need a variety of different kinds of foods and you need a lot of it. So I really wish Frank the best in the future. And if we ever do get back together and train, it won't be in the Training the Carnivore series anymore because this is the final episode. But I really appreciate everybody who's watched the channel and has watched this training series, given input about the carnivore diet, their experience, whether it was positive or negative. It was really fun to learn about this diet and to see if it actually could stand the test of time underneath rigorous strength training. At the end of all of this, I feel like that if Frank did eat a variety of other foods and ate a lot of it, I do feel like that he would progress very quickly and would actually be able to last a little bit longer on strength training programs. I'm not quite sure if his meat diet was able to sustain him all the way up to an achievable point where I'd be like, wow, you're really strong. But I feel like that he achieved what he wanted to achieve in his goal on that meat diet. And I kind of feel like I have to owe him that. Kind of just shows too that if you just have a knowledge of strength training and how the body works like I do, and you're able to tell somebody how to do it, then they're going to be able to perform to max capacity, even if their diet is not up to a standard that the rest of the world thinks is up to standard. I really appreciate everybody stopping by, and I will see you next time. Thank you.